I'm live. What's up, everyone? Happy Thursday. I'm excited for the weekend. I'm looking forward to it. I got a lot of fun plans this weekend. And I look tired here because I've had a lot to do today. So I'm a little bit tired, but I'm excited. I have some good news and I have some bad news. So what news do you guys want to hear first? Do you want to hear the good news first or you want to hear the bad news first? Let me know what you guys want to hear. I'm going to be having my operations manager, Maggie Ecklund, here in a second. She's going to come in. But let me know if you guys want to hear good news first or bad news first. What's up, Ellen? Oh, what's up, Ellen? How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're well. I know your brother is still working with Garrison. Now he's on his own, so congrats to him. Sarah, what's up? Stephanie, what's up? So Stephanie wants to hear the bad news. Sarah wants to hear the good news. Hello, happy Thursday. Kenya, how are ya? The good. All right, we got a couple of goods. Good news. Okay, you got a couple of good news. Okay, all right, I like that. Good news. All right, and I got my team on here. Got Kitty Jack. What's up, Kitty Jack? We got Alex Rubeau with door knocking today, and also booked a buyer consultation. That is awesome. Good job, Alex. Bad first. Okay, I got a little bit more good. So we got good news and bad news. All right. Well, the good news is that I'm going to be hiring a new operations manager. That's the good news. But the bad news is that Maggie, my operations manager, who I love so much, she is leaving, going back home to Washington. So today is her goodbye IG Live. She'll be working remotely, and she'll be training my new operations manager. So yeah, we're definitely really sad to see Maggie leave. She's been an integral part in my growth at Hilton and Hyland, and she's been with me for 2 years. And yeah, we're gonna be sad to see her leave. I know the team is also really sad to see her leave. But tomorrow we're gonna have a blast. We're gonna go out in West Hollywood. We're gonna party with her tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. So anyway, what are your thoughts on that? Kenya says, I'm wonderful, Paul. Thank you for following. Yes, no problem. Let me know if you guys have any questions about about Maggie leaving. And Maggie should be on here any second. I need to invite her on, but where is she at? Let's see. How do I get Maggie on here? Invite to join here. Maggie. Can Alex or Kitty Jack, can you guys call Maggie and tell her to get on the IG Live? I told her to be on here. I'm not sure what she's doing. I know she's getting ready to go out. She's been going out every single day of this week. So I just invited her. So let's see if she's going to come on. So if you're still watching Katie, Jack, and Alex, call Maggie and tell her to get on this IG Live. What is she doing? She's never late either. Beach Life, Britt, Paul, new agent in town here. Thanks for the inspiration. Awesome, man. Congrats. I love hearing, new people coming into the industry. It's a tough industry, but it's a very, very rewarding industry, and there's a lot of money to be made. So congrats on making that move, man. I know it's not easy to come to this business. Real estate, Chef LA, Thirsty Thursday. Yes, I am thirsty. I need some alcohol. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to be smoking a little bit of marijuana later on. So that's going to be my alcohol tonight. Let's see. Where's Maggie at? Maggie just joined. All right, Maggie. Finally. Man, where is she at? Let's see. Here she's going to come in a second. Accept. All right, she's going to come on. Let's see. Maggie.
Hi. I didn't know.
I said 2 minutes, like 5 minutes ago.
You said I'll be on in 5 minutes, but I was like, I didn't know.
I said 2 minutes.
Sometimes we say 5 minutes and then it's 20 minutes, so you just never know.
This is what happens when Paul's always late. Then Maggie's like, oh, I'll just wait. No big deal.
I know. Well,
did Alex call you? Is that why you're on here?
What?
Did Alex call you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I was doing dishes, so.
Huh? Oh, you're doing dishes. All right. No worries. So I told everybody if they wanted to hear the good news or the bad news, and they wanted to hear the good news first. The good news is that we're going to have a new operations manager. The bad news is that you're leaving. So Sarah says, embrace the change, Paul. Have fun tomorrow. I was telling them that we're going to go out and party tomorrow night. So
yeah.
They're excited for us. So Maggie's leaving. Bummed about that, but she's going to go and be a rock star agent in Washington. So watch out, Bellevue, because you got Maggie Ecklund coming from Hilton and Hyland, and we're going to
Aw.
show you how it's going to be done, right?
Thanks, guys.
Alex just joined.
Hello.
All right.
Thanks,
So,
Mackenzie.
all right. So let's talk about what you do for me, because I think people, who are agents, you know, my coach, I joined Tom Ferry 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years in May this year. And my first coach, Mary Jett, who's amazing, who's now the head of the coaching department at Tom Ferry. She's like, Paul, get an assistant right away. And I was like, yeah, I can afford an assistant. That's a crazy move, So, but I'm very coachable, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So the first thing I did is I put everything into workflows. Every single part of what I do, I put into these long checklists. And then after that, I basically read a book about hiring, an assistant, because I was scared. I'm like, how do I do that? Like, what's that process look like, And it's just learning. It's just learning the process, and it's not that hard, right? But I think people here that are watching, a lot of real estate agents, they are scared about hiring an assistant, because it's like, you got to manage somebody, you got to tell them what to do every single day. Like, what does that look like? They have to pay you. Like, are they a payroll? And like there's so many unknowns, So I think a lot of people don't do it because they're just too scared of that like commitment, But if you guys want to grow as a real estate agent, there's gonna be a time in your career where you have to get an assistant. You just have to do it. And the sooner you do it, the better. So as soon as you can afford somebody for, say, 3 months, just do it. And trust me, you'll see the growth in your business. I mean, I've seen, like, since I've hired Maggie, like, it's crazy what we've done together,
Yeah.
She started literally a week before the COVID shutdown.
Yeah.
Right, Maggie?
Right.
So, well, tell us about your story about why you came to LA and why you're leaving LA.
Well, okay, I'm gonna try to keep it short. So I came down to LA with the dream to work at Hilton and Hyland as an assistant. I knew better than to just jump in. I mean, you can do that, of course, but I just knew with that brokerage or something like of that caliber, you can't just jump in. It's very exclusive and hard to get into. And so I did what Paul did, where I wanted to become an assistant first. So I moved down here. I had no job, but I had an apartment with rent to pay. So I got right on it. And I just started looking every day on Indeed and Glassdoor, and I don't remember the other websites, but then I was seeing all these ads, and I was like, I just want to work at Hilton Hyland. And I swear to God, you guys, one night, I wasn't hearing back from anybody, which was fine. Like, obviously, I'm thankful. And then I was like, I'm just going to go drive by their building. I've always just wanted to see Hilton and Hyland in person. So I went and drove by the building, and then I was like, I don't pray a lot, but I was like, God, please, I just want to work there. And then the next morning, Paul's ad came out. Yeah.
Power of prayer. You see this up
Yes.
here? These are up here. These are prayer ties. This is
Right.
part of the men's group.
Oh, that's what you made. I like it.
Yeah. These are my prayer ties. So
I love it.
Yeah,
guys.
so
I mean,
it works.
Prayer
The power of
also
intention.
for me, it's like manifestation was so real. Making the move down here. It's not just like saying you want to do something. Of course, you have to put the actions behind it, and play the part. But yeah. So then after that, we had, I think it was 5 steps in the interview process, right, Paul?
Yeah, it was a lot, and that was again, like all this unknown of like how do you hire somebody? Like I heard so many horror stories of people like having to train somebody for 6 months and they're gone, or for a year and they're gone. Luckily, I had Maggie for 2 years, so
yeah,
I wasn't happy that she was going to leave, but listen, people will have their own journey, and I have to support them. I'm not going to get upset. I wish her the best, but yeah, it was a long interview process, and the reason why it's long is the longer the interview process is, the more people you weed out, and that's what you want. You don't want to be just hiring anybody, because you got to think about all the training you have to do. It's a lot of time and effort. I trained Maggie because she didn't know anything about real estate,
Right.
But the good thing is that she was a fast learner.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't have my desk anymore, guys. I'm selling all my furniture, so I'm like working with what I have. Okay. Anyway, so then, so yeah, I went through the process, and I will say too, if any agents are watching this and you're thinking about hiring an assistant, it showed me as a candidate, like, wow, he's taking this really serious. Thanks, Anne. Taking this really serious, and he's very professional, you know, to not just give me a call and then say, oh, come in, I want to have an in-person interview. It was like a phone call and then a video and then in person, then meeting with somebody else. And like, I just think that made me respect Paul so much more as a candidate. So I think that process is one of the best things that you could have done.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's really important. So let's talk about what your role was in the beginning and how it's changed now as the ops manager for our group.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's been interesting because, like you said, when I started, pretty much to a T, 7 days, 1 week later, we were. Oh, people are being so sweet. Thanks, Ian. You're so sweet.
He's a legend. I agree. Maggie's a legend.
Oh, you guys. I'm blushing. Okay, anyway, I'll get distracted like this. So, yeah, when I first started, I was working from home because it was mandatory. However, the role was supposed to be in the office, you know, but that was illegal at that point because you had to go. Nobody could be out in public. So I'm working from home. And at that point, I feel like it was a lot more of just like learning and emails and setting up programs and things like that. But then as time went on, Paul would teach me how to go and sit in on inspections and go to do the showings with our buyers or go do all the showings for our listings. And of course, the first few times you're like, oh, I hope I do it right. Like, it's a lot, felt like a lot of pressure. And then over time, just being a fast learner and then having confidence too, I was just like, I want to do the showings, you know? And so I definitely feel like my role in the beginning, I think all along, of course, you wanted me to be on the go with you, but it was more so in the beginning, just like learning the systems, setting up our programs, you know, because we had a new CRM that was a challenge, and other things like that. And then as time went on, it turned into more of like, I'm going to go to all these appointments with Paul and be his right-hand man, literally. You know, I'm there next to him walking the properties. And then I would say after a few months is because we had a kind of a slow beginning with COVID.
Yeah.
We stayed busy, but you know, as far as like doing transactions. And then
what was your first deal that we did?
Oh yeah, our first deal that we did was in the Beverly Hills Flats, and if you guys don't know about it, it is like, I was so blessed to have that be our first transaction together. It was so cool. It's like not the most prestigious, I don't want to say that, but it's like a very, very hard to get into area. It's just very expensive. Yeah, Alexa knows all the property addresses because we live together. So she knows it's Bedford, 709 North Bedford. Yeah. And this was our first deal we did together. I just have to make a comment on this. It was so funny. It was a development opportunity. So it was like considered a tear down, right? Yeah. And that's really hard to find in that neighborhood, and everybody wants to be there and develop there. And Paul was able to, at that time, send out an email blast and list as an off market. Now you can't do that. But we got 18 offers in 24 hours. Yeah. And I had never, like, I'm still learning contracts. I don't know anything. And I remember, like, this is so bad. I hope there's no police watching this. But, like, I had my laptop sitting on my center console and I was, like, typing as I was driving because we were getting offers and we were having conference calls with the sellers. And I'm like, I just don't know. I feel like, that was just a lot. Yeah. And then, that was our first deal. But I was going to say, I feel like a lot of my responsibility over time went on, as time went on, was when we would transform our listings. That's a lot of coordinating. Yeah. And getting familiar with our vendors, you know? Yeah, because we don't just do like staging. We do repairs, and you have to set up the first walkthrough for the quote and then negotiating the quote and, you know, facilitating, like getting everybody together. And so just sort of coordinating that and taking all of that off of Paul's plate so that we can successfully transform a property to sell it. Let's say if it was an expired property, now we're going to sell it. I feel like that became like a lot of where my time went. And that's a huge money-making activity for us. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. And it also, you know, like this morning when we were looking at our stats and how we compare to the market, you know, our list price to sales price ratio was 100.8%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the average in LA is what, 97. So we do 3% more than the average agent on purchase price, which pays for our commission, which is pretty amazing. And our days on market is, I think, like a week less than the average agent in LA. So, and that, I wouldn't have done it, I couldn't have done all that without you, because all that time, to coordinate the vendors and to meet them there in the lockbox,
Right.
this and that, and like that would bog me down, where I would not be able to look for more business.
Right.
And that's another thing as an agent, right? And Tom always talks about that, is that, we do a bunch of deals and then we do none. And then we do a bunch of deals and then we do none. And the reason why is because we stop prospecting when we have all these escrows and we're trying to manage all these escrows, right? And managing escrows is not a money-making activity. Yeah, you have to be there for certain times, but everything else, that you can delegate that to an assistant or to an operations manager, right? So hire somebody as soon as you can. That way you can focus on prospecting, and you can focus on going to appointments, signing listing, signing buyers, showing properties, and writing offers, right? I mean, those are the money-making activities. Everything else can be delegated.
Right. Yeah, and I'm just thinking about things that would take me longer, or maybe I wasn't doing as much on my own in the beginning. Were like writing all the contracts and also managing the escrows, like Paul's saying. I mean, of course, you could say in theory it's a money-making thing because you have something under contract, but you're not actively like, by calling escrow and saying like, was this report ordered? Like, that's not going to make Paul more money. Like, Paul needs to be out there prospecting and doing the big things, you know what I mean? And like, needs somebody who, of course, what I do is like important. It's very important, but I'm not bringing in new business. I'm helping close the business that we already have brought in.
Yes, exactly.
So, now I just remember I'm thinking back to when I would first start writing contracts in DocuSign, and I would just look through things. It would take me forever, like just being so thorough, because it's contracts, like Paul will tell you guys, is the most, like, it's very serious. You have to make sure everything is correct, the legal document. And then now it's like, I still obviously take my time and I'm thorough, but
you're quick.
So much faster. Yeah.
You're probably doing like 10 things at once. I think that's, when, every single morning, Maggie and I have our morning meeting at 8:30 after I have the 8 o'clock meeting with the team. And she always shares her screen. I see her doing like 10 things at once. And I'm like talking to her and I'm like, are you listening to me? She's like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
And she keeps up to this shit. And I'm like, damn, that's amazing, and I think that's really also really important when you are hiring an assistant or ops manager, is that you hire somebody that's really good at taking on a lot of tasks and that can handle a lot of tasks, because this business, if you want to grow, and especially right now, we're growing really, really fast. We were top 25 at our office, last year, which is huge. And this year, I want to be top 20, and the next year I want to be 15 and 10 and 5, right? And so when you're going in that trajectory, you have a bunch of projects. Like, there's like, if I didn't talk to Maggie for 2 weeks, she'd be busy, No,
it's true. It's true. We could talk about the time that you were in your where were you? Greece.
Yeah, in Europe.
And that was such a good feeling for me, because you guys, Paul literally trained me, like, oh my gosh, like taught me everything, And at first it's like, I remember it was during Bedford, that deal, and you left to go on a hiking trip and you had no reception, and this was like and I was like, okay, like, yeah. And then to think about that time being so nervous, like, I don't know, I was calling anybody I knew, like, does this make sense? Like, not who I knew, but like in real estate. And then now this last summer, Paul was able to go on a trip for like almost a month. It was like 3 weeks, right?
It was 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was able to just sort of run the business while he was gone. I mean, of course, like if I needed something, he was available, but just being able to like handle all the people here and like go meet his clients and like write any contract, it was such a good feeling. And like, I think aside from wanting to grow your business, it's also like hire an assistant so you guys can have a life. Like, I feel like if you didn't have me and you had to do, or an assistant, it's just like too much.
I mean, that's a great point. We are tied down.
Yeah.
The job becomes unbearable. It's not a fun job anymore when you have to write the contracts and you have to run the escrows, and it's too much to do, and you can't do it at a really high level, right? I mean, it just also depends on like on what you want. Obviously, the way we run our business is very high level, very detail oriented. We want the best of the best. We want the best photographers and videographers and the vendors and the best marketing, and we want everything to look really sharp. And in order to do that, it just takes time and it takes effort and it takes people, right? It's like Apple, right? I feel like we're like the Apple of real estate. We everything is very clean. You're gonna get the same. You're gonna get the same look every single time, regardless if you're selling a $2 million house or a $10 million house. It's gonna be very sharp. You're gonna get the same customer service, right? So like, in order to be the Apple of real estate, it's hard. You have to have processes, you have to have workflows, you have to have, train your staff correctly so that we're all on the same page and we're all looking at the same goal, which is to serve our clients and to get top dollar for all of our listings and to help buyers, win out on offers. So let's talk about right now because when you first joined the team, it was just me by myself. Now we have a team of five, sorry, four agents, me and three other agents, right?
Yeah.
So how, and also a full-time virtual assistant in the Philippines, Christine. So if you're watching this, Christine, what's up? We love you. She's doing a great job.
Yeah.
So what's your day like now? And like, let's talk about your day and your schedule and like what that looks like.
Yeah. Well, Christine is amazing. She's new. So I'm still trying to like figure out a schedule with her. Right now she's doing a lot of the one thing we'll touch on too is the training videos that we started doing.
Yes.
Because I am just like, I am good at multitasking, I will say, or at least I try my best, but like I am pretty swamped from day to day when it comes to just like trying to go through the little tasks and big tasks and setting up projects, and now having Christine, who I know like is going to be taking a lot of things off of my plate, and she already is starting to, because she's a fast learner too. But I'm still trying to figure out a schedule where like it works for me to know exactly like when to hop on with her. But again, that's in the works. But yeah, throughout the day, I mean, I talk with Paul every morning. We go over like, we always have if you guys aren't using Trello, this is your sign to start using Trello.
Use Trello. It's really
We've told
awesome.
you before, and we're going to say it again.
Yeah.
Trello is the truth. Okay.
It's the shit.
So, yeah. So we have our doing, and done board. Okay. So we'll go over what was it. And by the way, we also use Slack. Text would be crazy. Slack is great. Everything's in one place.
Slack and Trello are two big things, right?
Yeah.
Sure. And Google Business Suite.
Google Suite, yeah. So anyway, throughout the day, whether it's like 5 a.m., 5 p.m., whatever, Paul will send us. Oh yeah, she said Trello is the shit. She knows.
Yes, it is.
Paul will say TTD dash, and then it's either like one word or it's a long paragraph, whatever it is. And it's something that we put on a card that we check every single morning, and it's our things to discuss, because, we are so on the go, like with the clients that we're working with or projects we're doing, or if I'm making a return for Paul, who knows? Like, but I may be here. So when we have a TTD board, which is things to discuss, it keeps us consistent, and it's helped us a lot with things not slipping through the cracks. Because he may send me a message and I'm like, yeah. But then maybe I didn't like finish it 100% because like whatever. It just has helped us so much. So we're always going over things to discuss, any projects that we have in the works that maybe I need his opinion on, or I just want him to know where things are at. So we're touching base, and then also just going over the calendar for the day. Like today we had a photo shoot, so we're talking about this is what time I'm going to get there. This is what time I'm going to go do this and that. So that's how my morning typically starts.
So hold on. So let's just go back on Trello, because I think people, they don't really understand what it is. It's basically like having like, think about whiteboards or like chalkboards. Hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So Trello is like having like a bunch of like whiteboards like splashed all over your office, like everywhere, and you have all these notes everywhere. But and it's visual, because we're all visual people, right? So we have boards for everything. We have a task board, which is like a general things, like just like small task, and that also includes our things to discuss. Yeah. So during the day, I have ideas of like how to make the business better. Always at 8 o'clock at night, I think of like an idea, or I think of like, oh, let's add this to the workflow, right? So I always say TTD, and I put the thing, and then the next morning we always discuss that board. The other board that's really important for us, and it's been amazing, is our projects board. It's the doing, and done board. So we have our daily goals, our weekly goals, and our monthly goals. And every month, Maggie and I have a monthly meeting, and we talk about what are our goals for the next 4 weeks, right? And we add that onto that board, and then we break them down into weekly, and we break them down into daily goals, right? So those are our bigger goals, like doing a new marketing piece, or working on a Bitcoin article, or figuring this out on the CRM. So like things that take a little bit longer, and it's not really a task; it's more like a project.
Right.
We always do it there, and that's great, because then you start seeing like, wow, like look what we've done over the last like 2 years. Like we've gone on that board and we scroll down through hundreds of projects now, and it's been amazing, like what we've created together. And it's because we're very, very organized, And then the other boards we have a seller workflow board and a buyer workflow board. So for anything that has to do with sellers, listing appointment, off-market property workflow, any workflow that has to do with a seller client, we have it. And we have like 8 or 9 different checklists for different things. If you get an offer, what do you do? If you do a price reduction, what do you do? If you enter an escrow, what do you do? That's a long one. Once you close escrow, what do you do? If you cancel escrow, what do you do? Right. So all of these workflows, all these processes, and this is super important, guys. If you're looking to hire an assistant, and this will take you several hours, maybe a full day, but I tell you, it's worth it. And so now what we're doing is, now that we've already worked on these checklists, now we're shooting video on every single thing, because now we have a team, right? So how do we keep the Apple consistency in real estate on our team? Is by having the workflows and the processes. And now that we've shot video for every single one of those items in each workflow, every single checklist item, now the team, when they're working on an offer, they can look at the video. And Maggie and I, on almost all those videos, are talking about the importance of that task and anything that can come up with that particular thing, right?
Yeah.
So I know that was a little bit long, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood how we use Trello.
Trello is definitely, I think, like the lifeline of our business. I mean, not really. There's so many things that make it what it is. But I will say, like he said, with those workflows, and not only for day to day, but if you guys are hiring or you're bringing agents on your team, and you're like, this is how we do it. Like you need to have, or you should have, those workflows as cards, and then have a video for each thing, because like as somebody who's learning, for me personally, to have a video and not have to be like, Paul, what's this? Paul, what's this? Paul, it's right there. He's literally telling you, like, this is exactly what it is. This is what it means. This is how you do it. We're doing screen share, showing you exactly what to do. So I just think, like Paul said, it will take more time in the beginning, but it will save you so much time and maybe potential headache down the line if you just do it right then and there before you decide to hire. So
100%. Yeah, it's super important. And we have one for every listing and every buyer. So when we have a buyer, we have all the notes there for that buyer, and then for every listing we have lockbox codes and the gardener information, the pool man, and then Maggie will copy and paste a checklist from the seller workflow board onto the board for that listing. So then she'll do a doing and done board for that. So anyway, it's I love it, and what you've done to also enhance it, Maggie, has been great. So thank you for that.
Yeah, guys. I mean, I just sort of, Paul's like, we're gonna do Trello. I said, all right, Paul. Paul says we're doing something. We're doing it. Yeah. So I would just go on YouTube and taught myself like anything I could learn about this software or this system. It's super intuitive, honestly. But I will say there are a lot of cool little things you can do, like within Trello, that will make it even better. YouTube is what taught me. So, and then just like, really just YouTube, and then just using it over time. Yeah. So Trello will change your business if you're not already using it. Start, not even just real estate, guys, like anything. Make one for moving, like I did it, or make one for like, I don't know, like just anything. We do it for traveling. We do it for when we moved. It's just a great way to like kind of just put it, like all your ideas in all one place.
And on the app on your phone is also great. So it's like when I'm on the go and I'm at a listing, I need to know something random that I forgot, the Wi-Fi code or whatever. It's right on there on so that's been really, really good for us. Sarah says, I wish I had someone like Paul to train me. Maggie is so lucky. Much love. Oh, thanks, Sarah. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about what else. We were talking about systems and I interrupted you. What else do we use?
Systems. Okay, so Slack is the way we communicate. And like, I know a lot of people communicate via text and you can like search through your text, but like, just trust me, like use Slack because everything is right there. And like I personally, sometimes I'll put my phone, well, another tip, if you're an assistant, if you ever put your phone on D&D, you can go to your settings and you can say like, well, if I get a call from Paul, like that's always going to come through. But sometimes you just don't want to check your text. So like, Slack is for work, and then it's super easy to find anything on there. Like for me, it's way better for organizing using Slack. So I highly recommend that.
Yeah, Slack's been amazing, and we have different channels too. So we have a channel for the whole team. We have a channel of the operation, which is Maggie and our virtual assistant, Christine. One for me and Maggie, which is the one that I use the most. And then even some of our vendors, because we give them a lot of business. I say, hey, we need you on Slack. Like our escrow guy went on Slack, which is amazing. Yeah. And then an architect that we use that we are in communication with is also on Slack. So it's been really great. And I know a lot of the bigger businesses use it. And all these things, guys, I just learned from Tom Ferry and from other top agents. It's nothing I just I came up with. I'm just very coachable, and I just kind of follow directions, right?
Right.
So what else are you doing? Obviously, you're on Trello, and you have all your tasks there, and you have all the projects there. The other thing, what we're doing is we're shooting a lot of video for our workflows. But we've also shot a ton of video for onboarding a virtual assistant.
Yeah.
And onboarding agents too,
right.
Which has been a lot.
It's a lot. That's like, I think we usually have like 3 goals that we'll have for the month, and we're like, no, this is like a goal, and it's 3 goals in itself. It's so much work. But again, like we said, it does take a lot of work, and it's kind of exhausting, but we've been doing it, and it helps me too. Like as I'm training the virtual assistant, I can just say like, we shot all these videos, like watch this, and again, it saves me time, it saves Paul time. It's just better. I'm trying to think of what else has changed too. I know you were talking about one thing we didn't really finish touching on was like going from just having me and you to having our team. Yeah. So when it was just you and I, that's one thing, I'm dealing with projects, and then Paul's escrows. And then now, like, I'm not the agents who are on our team. I'm not their assistant or anything, but I am still like there to help them with contracts or escrows and workflows. And I mean, really, whatever it is that they need, I'm not going to say no. But, I'm still helping them too. But I definitely still, like, as Paul's assistant, I have his tasks first. If Paul calls me, that's priority. And then absolutely helping the team as I can throughout the day. But of course, throughout the day when I'm already busy and then I have a lot of requests from the team, which team never stops sending them. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I had to find a way to become more organized. And how I did that was just making a list on Trello. Like everything I hear, if I can't get to it that very second, it's on Trello. Once I finish the task I'm doing, I go to the next. And then also something I learned that actually seemed very scary, but it wasn't, was learning how to become a transaction coordinator. So
and we're gonna keep Maggie as the TC for a while. So because she knows the business, she knows our business, and she knows how diligent we are with paperwork. I've never been sued yet, so and that's the TC really helps out with again, just kind of running the escrow too as well. So it's I'm excited that you're going to be on. We're still in communication. I don't want to let go of Maggie. I'm kind of holding her on just a little bit. I have half her hand.
Aw, yeah. Well, I'm not ready to fully let go either. So the good thing about Paul and I is like it's always very professional, but we're also close. And I think another thing when you're hiring somebody, like you do really work hand in hand with your assistant. I think at least the way we work so hard, it's like you want to make sure you like their personality. So just because they're good at something, like we've been interviewing and stuff, it's like you gotta wear every hat. Like you've got to be able to do things and work fast, and you also have to be personable. And again, it depends on the role you're playing. If you're just in your office, you're never meeting with clients, maybe it's not as important. But
so one other thing, I know you have have to go in a few minutes.
I have like 10 minutes.
Okay, good. So the video part of this is like amazing. Like it's just, like honestly, like if we're like 10 years ago, if we couldn't shoot video the way we do now and how easy it is, it would be a freaking nightmare. Like I mean, it's just like shooting the videos. Like I know it's a lot of work, and our workflows are really long, guys. I mean, there are a lot of items on there because you just there's so many intricacies in real estate, and nobody teaches you this stuff. Nobody does. It's not part of your real estate, license exam.
No.
And even when you join a brokerage, like they're not teaching you that stuff. So all of our workflows really take you on this path of how to become like a superstar agent. How to really give your customers really great attention and just think about all the details, right? Like how can we like on one of our workflows is like, all right, how do you add value to a listing, right? Like that's literally an item on one of our workflows. And in the video, I discuss, all right, well, what's the zoning? Is it a R1 V2 where you can do 55%, you can build 55% of the lot size? All right, great. Well, then get an underbuilt report and market that property as wow. Even though, this property is only 1,300 square feet, you can add an extra 1,000 square feet and that will cost you, $300 a foot, but the equity is $1,000, so you're actually adding $700 a foot for every $300 you spend. Like all those small little things, guys, that like I've learned over the course of 15 years in doing this business. Now it's on those workflows. Now it's on video. And what I love about Google Business Suite is that we've upgraded it, and now we have with Google Meet we can record everything.
Yeah.
So we don't use Zoom anymore. We use Google Meet, and it's been amazing because now it kind of just works a lot easier with the Google Calendar. Even though Zoom had a plugin, but this is so much easier. And in the way we record things is like Maggie and I will just jump on a Google Meet, and we'll hit record button, and we'll talk for 5-10 minutes or a minute or however long it is. We hit stop, and now that automatically goes right into Google Drive, right? So now Maggie, all she has to do is write a quick little description of that video, and then she adds it to a folder in the Paul Salazar group folder, which is a folder that it's a shared drive for the whole team. So now our team has access to the shared drive. But not only that, she links every single video to a card on the Trello workflows. So that's been a game changer for us. And we are not even close to being done, but I feel like we're like 30 or 40% done.
Yeah.
But it's again, like once that's done, it's going to be there for forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. That's definitely been a game changer, and I'm excited that that'll take so much off your plate and mine.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what we were talking about. Just it is crazy to reflect on how much our business has grown. I mean, it was just Paul and I, and then just going, even just when it was just him and I, still over time was taking on more and learning a lot. And then now having the three amazing girls that we have on the team, it's like, I think Paul and I first were kind of like, oh, like we like it just us, of course we wanted to grow. And then having them now, we're like, whoa, I didn't know it could be so good,
Yeah, I know.
So they're
It's
just
great.
wonderful. And then now having a VA, and it's been amazing to see Paul's business go from just him and I, a brand new assistant, to now a literal team. We've always called ourselves the group, but now we're like a real group,
Yeah.
And it's just really cool.
Yeah, I know. You were, I coined you operations manager from the get-go. Like you always kind of have to think always ahead, right?
Yeah.
I had Paul Salazar group, even though it was just me and you, and there's no group.
Right.
And my goal is to have one agent at the end of 2021. Now we have 3 agents at the end of 2021.
Yeah.
So
you're manifesting. It's manifestation.
Yeah, for sure. It's really, really important. Really
yeah.
Important. So, Maggie, I know you have to get going. I just want to wish you the best in Washington. I know you're going to kill it. We're going to miss you here, but hey, you're still on as the transaction coordinator.
Oh.
And looking forward to seeing you grow. Looking forward to seeing you become a great agent and selling some big properties.
Thank you so much. The pleasure's been mine. I have learned so much. You guys, Paul, there's no better trainer, mentor. He is just the best. And I told Paul when we had the first conversation, I'm like, if I don't work for you, I'm not working for anybody. Like, there's nobody as patient or, anyway. So we could go on and on. talking about how much we care about each other, but it's really just been the best journey, and I'm excited too.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
If you
thanks
guys ever
everyone.
have any questions about operations, like, you can reach out to me and I can
Yes.
send you some of the videos that we do and talk more about Trello and just how to organize your business that way. We're always happy to help and spread the knowledge. So
Yeah. All right. Well, say bye. We got Lack in Real Estate says thank you. Good luck, Maggie. Tara says what's up. Says hi and I love you, Maggie. Oh, it's so sweet.
thank you. Love you, Tara.
All right, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. We are always available to answer questions as soon as we can about our growth as a team and what we do. I feel that we have something special. I really do, and I'm really excited about what the future holds because we have some great agents that are just really just excited about the opportunity, and they're just learning, and they're just in action, so grateful. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next week. You know what, I'll do one next week, maybe on Friday next week, and I will share what I've learned from the elite retreat in Vegas. So next week, Tom Ferry is going to be doing a 2-day event in Vegas for all of his elite clients. That's elite as in like the membership we pay. I'm not trying to boast or anything.
Probably he's a VIP.
Yeah, so that's going to be exciting. He's, Tom always shares just a bunch of great knowledge, and the synergy with all the top agents there. Agents making $10 million a year in commission, which is like absolutely insane. I'm just trying to get to $1 million this year. So it's just so cool to just see what other people are doing. And that's really inspired me. And it's really taught me what I do, is just kind of learning from them as well. So I will do an IG live next week on Friday. Maggie's leaving next week on Thursday. And tomorrow night, we're gonna send her off with a party.
We're going to Delilah, you guys.
So if you guys want to hang out with us, if you want to say hi and you live in LA, come say hi. We'll be having dinner at Delilah.
Yeah, you want to come see us? Like, we're the new celebrity.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on.
All right, Maggie. Have a good night. Have fun.
You too. Okay, bye. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys. Bye.